I'm Dr. Kristen R. Bromley. This video series, which is part of my online music academy, specifically accompanies Note Reading Book 3 from my Method book series. Like all my books, this selection is available to purchase through Amazon and Google Play. For help, see the links in the description below. In the videos which are part of this specific course, I progress through the lessons in Note Reading Book 3. With the book, you can work through all the songs and exercises, and in the process come to know the entire fretboard and master the skill of playing written notes all along the neck. Alright, let's get to jamming in this lesson. Hi, I'm Dr. Kristen Bromley. Welcome back. This is lesson 22 that goes with Note Reading Book 3. In this lesson, we are looking at the key of E major and C sharp minor. Let's go ahead and take a look at page 196 and 197. So there's directions on here with this lesson, like we've done with lesson 20 and 18, 16, and so on. We're going to use the exercises and songs from lesson 21, so the previous lesson, to practice this key, if you'd like to practice in this key. This key has 4 sharps as opposed to 3 flats. But reading in the key of E flat major, like we did in the last lesson, versus reading in E major, is actually pretty similar, just because the notes are situated within the scale in the same place, and then the notes sit on the lines and spaces in the same place. And I'll explain that as we go through. But let's first just take a look at where the scales are in the key of E major here on the guitar. So we've got an E note at the 12th fret of the 6th string, and we can play scale form 1 if I put my middle finger on that root note, or scale form 2 if I put my pinky on it. On the 5th string, I've got the E at the 7th fret, and I can do scale form 1. Or alternatively, I could do scale form 2 if I start with my pinky on that root. And then down on the 4th string, at the 2nd fret, I've got scale form 1. Can't do scale form 2 that low, but if I go up to the 14th fret on that same string, I can do scale form 1 an octave higher. And alternatively, if I put my pinky on it, I could do scale form 2. We got one more, and that's at the 9th fret of the 3rd string. I can do scale form 1. So those are the single octave scales, major scales for the key of E major. Practicing reading with those, I would use the exercises from lesson 21 as explained in the directions there on page 196. Let's look at the minor scales. So for C sharp minor, I have a C sharp at the 9th fret of the 6th string. I can play scale form 1, or alternatively I could do scale form 2 if I start with my pinky on that root note instead. And then on the 5th string at the 4th fret, I can do scale form 1, and I could do scale form 2 if I put my pinky on it. I could also go an octave higher with that one if I wanted to, so my pinky's at the 16th fret. On the 4th string, I've got my index finger, just slide on up there, to the 11th fret of the 4th string, and I can do scale form 1. Or if I put my pinky there, I could do scale form 2. Then on the 6th fret of the 3rd string, I could do scale form 1. So there's the minor scales, single octave options, and of course there's directions there for how we could use the exercises from the previous lesson. Okay, let's take a look at these 5 positional forms. Now I actually can play with E major down here in 1st and 2nd position. If I put my middle finger on that E note that's at the 2nd fret of the 4th string, I've got scale form 1, and then a part of scale form 2, back to scale form 1, piece of scale form 2. Now, if I wanted to practice in that position with this in the previous lesson, there isn't one for E flat down that low, so I'd have to play with other exercises and shift as needed. But that position does exist, and C sharp minor would start with my pinky on the C sharp. So that position's there, but the first one we can practice reading with the exercises from the previous lesson as described in the directions is in 4th position. So where my pinky starts on that E at the 7th fret. So I've got scale form 2, and then a part of scale form 1, back to scale form 2, part of scale form 1, and there we are. If I wanted to start on C sharp, it's down at that 4th fret on that 5th string. The next position up, I've got my middle finger on the E, so I'm in position 6 and 7. I've got 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 3, 4 with scale form 1, then part of scale form 2, then back to scale form 1, and then I have part of scale form 2. So we've got that position. And if I put my pinky on the E on the 6th string at the 12th fret, I've got scale form 2, and then I've got scale form 1, back to scale form 2, and then I have a piece of scale form 1 on the bottom. If I put my middle finger on that 12th fret, I've got scale form 1, then scale form 2, a piece of scale form 1, back to scale form 2, back to scale form 1, and a piece of scale form 2. And then up the octave from there, I've got my middle finger on the 14th fret, I've got scale form 1, part of scale form 2, back to scale form 1, part of scale form 2. Just like we did in 1st position, only we've got exercises that let us read that high. Okay, and then of course you can shift between the different exercises, and we've seen how we've done that in previous lessons. Let's look at how we would read exercises. So if we flip back to page 179 from lesson 21, as I've explained in other lessons, the difference between reading in E flat major and E major, just like reading in G flat major or G major or A flat major versus A major, is actually quite similar in a lot of ways if we can just wrap our head around it. So on the staff, the notes are going to sit where they're going to sit, and then we have the key signature that tells us which notes are flat or which notes are sharp, which notes are natural. In the scale system though, if I just, for example, use the E major scale in where I've got my middle finger on the E at the 12th fret, and I play that scale, I'm playing E major. I've got some sort of E, some sort of F, some sort of G, some sort of A, B, C, D, and E. For E flat, I have to shift my hand down a fret, but I've got some sort of E, F, G, A, B, C, D, and E. Now for the key of E major, I'm going to have E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C sharp, D sharp, and E. For the key of E flat, I've got E flat, F, G, A flat, B flat, C, D, E flat. But as I'm reading the pitches on the page and playing them within the scale form, the pitches on the page and the notes within the scale form are in the same place. So whether it's an E or an E flat, in both cases it's played on the lowest root. I'm playing it with my middle finger right there. And then whether it's F or F sharp, I'm playing it with that pinky on that same string, and so on. So if we can wrap our heads around that, it's actually helps as we're reading, because everything is sort of that associated that way. So as we use the songs and exercises to practice the key of E, and I can say, like, we read in the key of these keys with more sharps and flats less often. So you can skip this lesson if you want to, but you also can practice with this key if you want to, and it's a good thing to do. And we've got these songs and exercises, and the fact that we've played them before and there's a familiarity actually sort of helps with getting these pitches down and mastering the neck. So all we have to do to practice in the key of E major is change the 3 flats in the key signature to the 4 sharps. So we have F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, and D sharp instead of B flat, E flat, A flat. And then I put I position my fingers 1 fret higher than I would for E flat. So my middle finger's on the E and then F sharp, and I'm playing right there where I'm playing an E major scale. So let's go ahead and do this together on one of these. So we're going to do it on number 1 here on page 179. It's in 3/4 time. I'll give us a 3-beat count, and we got 1 and 2 and 3 and. Okay, and it's as simple as that. So you got lots of songs and exercises you can practice. You got those directions to help you. I'm not going to play them all. They're all familiar if you've done lesson 21. So hope you're having fun with the guitar. Hope things are going well. Take care, and we'll see you again. If you found this video helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. For help with other guitar playing skills, check out more of my method books and the numerous lessons available as part of my online academy here on YouTube. You can find more information about me and my products at kristenbromley.com. Take care.